Hey guys,
Hey.
welcome to New Zealand.
Ah, we made it.
It's spectacular. Yes, we made it. So we're going to do what we did last time. Day 10 was a transitional day. We
Yes.
were flying from Sydney to Queenstown. I paused because we were supposed to go through Christchurch and we ended up going through Auckland.
I think overall, if you can just imagine an amazing race style day, then you know that that's what we went through.
That was day 10,
But we're here now.
pretty much. But we're here and it was spectacular. On the way in
Ah.
to Queenstown, we saw not just mountains, but absolutely green, life-filled, covered mountains. It looked lush, it looked beautiful, it looked alive.
It looks everything you imagine and you've seen New Zealand to be. Flying in was absolutely breathtaking. And the reason we have found out that part of the reason why it's so lush and so beautiful and so green is because it rains here like 200 days out of the year.
And guess what? October is spring here. So out of 31 days, 19 of them have rain.
Yes.
But
Hey, we knew that.
it's fine.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
gorgeous.
It's
And
spectacular.
it's not the rain like we know rain.
No.
It's like a Seattle rain. It's
Yeah.
like a misting.
You don't get the torrential downpours
You
that
don't really get wet,
many of us from Central Florida are used to.
right?
It's more like a gentle misting
But it is
rain.
cold as well. It is cold as well. And
It
so what
is
did we
that.
do on our first excursion here? Our big excursion was Milford Sound.
Milford Sound was our first full day. It's probably one of the most iconic locations in all of New Zealand. It's on the South Island. Really only technically like a half an
Just
hour
right
away
over
from
there.
us. It's
right
just
over
right there
Except
behind
that
us.
you
Except
can't-
that there's no road to get there.
So you have to drive all the way around Lake Wakatipu and then another lake, I think called Lake Tianu.
How long is that drive?
It's a 5-hour bus
A
ride.
five
5-hour bus.
hour
And then
bus ride. Oh wait, there's more.
yeah, then I got to get back on a boat. Back on a
She's
boat.
back on a boat,
2 hours
ladies and
on a
gentlemen.
boat.
2 hours on a boat,
And then a 5
5-hour bus
bus
ride
ride
on the way back. Yes.
But on the way up and on the way back, honestly, you get to stop at these really cool places. And when you have a great bus driver like we did,
He was spectacular.
you get to take some really cool pictures.
Yeah, we weren't sure exactly what he was doing, but he told us what to do. We went with it, and we ended up with pictures like this.
He took our camera a few times, and it was so worth it. He was fantastic.
It was.
And he
So
got us to Milford Sound, got us on the boat. I don't even know what to tell you about this scenery. I mean, we just had to take it all in. It's absolutely. It's
here's the thing about the
unbelievable.
rainfall. When it rains, guess what's working? The waterfalls,
Lots of waterfalls.
which is a huge draw for Milford Sound.
In fact, some of the boats, in fact, ours did. They warn you that they're going to go like right into the waterfall, and everyone's going to get like
Cover your cameras,
soaking
folks.
Wet.
Yeah.
And some did.
Yeah.
We did not get soaking
Half of the people with us, by the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
didn't speak any English. So when the driver said you're going to get a little wet,
Right.
we weren't sure if they really knew what that meant until they were already under the
Until they were
waterfall.
soaking wet, and then they didn't seem very happy.
Not so much. Not so much. We, on the other hand, were in the dry space with our cameras just for
And-
a few minutes.
And we got to see a whole rock of like 50 seals just hanging out on this rock, and oh my goodness, just
Yeah, it
so
was nice to
amazing.
see them out in the wild instead of in an aquarium or at
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld or something like that.
And we saw penguins.
Saw a few penguins.
Oh,
saw a
that
few
was so
penguins. Yeah,
cool.
we were hoping to see dolphin. We've heard dolphin enjoy chasing the boats around Milford Sound, but we were looking, didn't find any. So
No,
they
but
were off doing their
the
own
penguins and the seals made up for that. A truly extraordinary part of this trip. Holy
thing. What you're looking at doesn't even begin to do it justice. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you were ever thinking
Yeah.
about coming to New Zealand, and I highly recommend the South Island, do not let your life go by without doing that. It
gotta
is
get here.
worth the trip. It's just worth the trip. That's all I can say. It's
These are ducks
spectacular.
making some sounds here. If you hear them, they're just all around us in the water. You
We're,
can't see them out
we're
there.
surrounded by life out
By
here.
life
so
out here. So that everything was great. I mean, the whole day was beautiful.
yeah.
And then
Then it was time for the 5-hour ride back home.
yes,
And the first four and a half hours were
great.
actually pretty
We
good.
Stopped again, took some great pictures.
Yeah.
Saw like some cool cavernous type like formations with water
saw-
blasting through.
And we saw a natural creek, and our bus
Yeah.
driver had even said to us that the water is so clean you can drink from it. He
Oh, yeah.
even filled a few water bottles, although what I didn't see was our bus driver taking any water samples himself. He was very happy to point out that, the first person that went just keep an eye on them.
Yeah,
If
just watch
they
them.
don't start twitching,
They'll be fine.
then the water's safe. But Cowan was a good guy. In
In
fact,
he
really kind of came through for us again about 4.5 hours in.
because what happened, Mike?
Our bus broke down.
Our bus broke down, like it just stalled on the way up.
So let's set this up for you. In New Zealand, everybody drives, I won't say wrong, I'll say on the left-hand side of the road.
And which in this case was the water side.
The water
The
side.
cliff side.
We were driving along a switchbacking road.
Yes.
Uh,
In a double-decker type bus. I mean, no, it wasn't double-decker. It was a big bus.
it was very top-heavy.
Very top-heavy.
Very top-heavy. On the way back, the water was on our left.
Yep.
The mountain was on our right.
Yep.
Um,
And then all of a sudden,
the bus.
we heard the bus driver go, "Come on, bus!" And then it just stalled.
And it just stalled. Now
And then
this.
we were kind of going backwards.
Yes, this was also on a patch of road that you couldn't see around the bend in
Right.
front of you, and you couldn't see around the bend behind you.
Right. So other cars didn't actually know that we had just gotten stuck on that part of the
And when a
road.
bus of that size stalls, conks out, the next force that comes into play is one called gravity.
Yes.
And we started. Well, actually,
Well-
he did throw it into neutral.
Yeah, he started
And
because
gently,
he had to get us.
gently.
We had to eventually get to like the inside shoulder, like off the road, so that we weren't blocking the road, and 16 tourists weren't just standing in the roadway.
Half of whom spoke no English,
so
by
the
the way,
bus-
but still knew something was up.
The bus driver literally, after we kind of stopped and got level, kind of level, I'd say level.
Imagine
level as you could be.
imagine going backwards down a hill with a cliff right by you, praying you don't go tumbling over the side.
Yeah, there was no tumbling over.
There was no tumbling
That
over.
wasn't gonna happen.
It was fine.
Cowan was
It
really
fine.
good.
He was good.
Awesome.
He was on
And
top
he,
of it.
he turned around, he stood up, he turned around, he's like, I need all able-bodied men out of the bus right now. Points right at Mike, you out, let's go. And
Now,
other guys
hang on a
follow. Again,
second.
not everyone even speaks English.
For
so
those of
I'm
you who
trying to understand.
For those of you who know me, imagine the bus driver saying, I need everybody's help, and the first person he's looking at is yours truly. Again, I think he did that because he knew off the top I was one of the few that spoke English.
Yes. So out Mike goes and pulls his Man of Steel moment.
It was, well, actually, before that, what he had asked that we do, because
Oh,
again, we
right.
couldn't see around in
Right.
front of us or around
Stop
behind
traffic.
us, we had to direct traffic. We had to
Yeah.
make sure that anybody coming around from either side didn't see us, because
Right.
as he was pulling back and moving in towards
Into
the mountain,
shoulder, yeah.
well, that's the right side of the road, and guess what? That's oncoming traffic. So I was making sure that the cars coming around the corner knew what was going on and that we were there.
Yes.
Next thing I know, one of the, actually she was English speaking,
She
came up
was,
to me
yeah.
and she said, they need your help, they need your help. I said, okay, what would you like me to do? I have no engineering degree. I can't fix the bus. We need your help to push the bus. Push the bus.
So 12 of them, 12 of us, 12 of them, pushed the bus back into like so it was like hugging the mountain.
12 tourists are pushing a bus, a tour bus, to get us up against the mountain.
Yes. And there's a woman with a baby. She was so nervous. There was older people that were nervous. But then
Here's what I learned. When I say ready, set, go, apparently that means the same thing in no matter what language you're speaking.
apparently when you know there's trouble, it doesn't matter. Help is help, and everyone jumped in and pitched in, and it was good. And actually, as soon as we got it off to like the shoulder, another bus from another tour company pulls up right next to us, and thankfully they have 16 seats available.
Go figure.
So all of us were able to get on that bus, and our bus driver stayed with the bus, and I don't know what happened to him, but I have emailed the company to make
To
sure
check
that
in,
all
make
is
sure
well.
he was all right. But
And to thank him for how well he handled it. It was, I mean,
Yeah.
it was for how bad a situation it was. He was right there fixing it, helping us.
these things happen.
So then
They don't
then-
happen to
then
us,
we
but
get-
apparently.
then we get all on the bus, and of course there's other people on this bus who are trying to get back to Queenstown, and the bus driver drops all of them off. And then he turns around, he stands up, we stopped, and he's like, okay, now you guys. So we're like, okay. So we're trying to get back to our hotel. Other people are trying to get back to their hotel, and the bus driver says,
Where are you staying? Well, we're staying at the Hilton. Well, where is that?
we're like, we don't know where it is. We're tourists. We just got
I said,
here.
you don't know where it is? He said, well, actually, this is my first day here. This is my first day on the job. This is my first day in New Zealand.
We've been here longer.
have been in New Zealand longer than this bus driver.
So he said, "I'm so sorry," and he looked at all of us. He had no idea how to get any of us back to where we were going. So okay, well, we'll figure it out. We got off the bus.
It turns out where he dropped us was right
Couldn't
in front
have been
of,
a better place.
It was perfect. It was right in front of a water taxi. We were able to make it across.
And we came right from over there,
Lake
from the water, Lake Wakatipu.
Wakatipu,
That's where we are.
and made it back to the hotel.
Quite a first day in New Zealand.
Thank you for sticking this one out because we had to share it.
We had to share that story.
And to all my friends who know I shoot video for a living, I don't have a single frame of it, so you're either going to have to believe us.
Because he was pulling off his Superman moment.
You're either going to have to believe us or chalk it up to whatever you think it really happened. But
I will tell you this, from here on out, I'm not getting on any boats. I don't want to be on any buses. I just want to walk to where we're going.
I think today is going to be a mellow day. So for day, what are we on?
12. Day 12.
I think we're just going to head into town and check out Queenstown. And
Yes.
we'll get back to you and show you some of the sights and stuff. By the way, this is apparently a very young town.
Oh, yeah.
The average age is in the mid-20s, we
Wow.
think.
And construction here is off the
booming.
chart. I mean, it's booming. People are moving here. People are building here. Yeah, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
someday.
yeah.
Until
For now,
then.
though, we're going to let you go. We see we've been going pretty long here, but we had to share that story and let you know how our adventure began in New Zealand. But we'll get back to you and show you some more of the sights and sounds. And until then,
We'll see you later.
The Mike and Debbie Nana's Travel Report is brought to you in part by Growing Boulder Adventures. The world's a big place. What are you waiting for?